2024 is officially out of the window, and it definitely feels like it came and went pretty fast, and we've reached a pretty big milestone on the channel at 35,000 subscribers. Thank you for each and every one of you. Right now, if I look kind of weird, it's because I'm against the wall, my camera's right here, and I don't have a good background right now. So nonetheless, let's get into 2024, and what a great year for horror it has been. So I have an end of year list for the best movies of 2024. Yes, I finally got around to watching all of the movies in 2024, and I am making that list. Stay tuned for that later this week. But I thought, let's start it off with 2024 horror because it's been great. So I'm on Letterboxd if you want to check me out right now. It's over here on the side, but I do have my list ready right here. Let's get into it right now. So honorable mention, of course, is going to be Terrifier 3. Let me tell you, at Fantastic Fest, I was kind of worried about this movie. I was thinking, is this going to be good? Is this going to be great? And I was surprised with it. Damien Leone really packs a punch here, and I think he puts together everything that makes Art the Clown from the previous installments together into a movie that just was, I said in my interview, I didn't interview, but if you're looking for interviews, I'm here to do them sometimes. I said that this was definitely a film that was a maximalist horror dream, and I fully support that still. Now, at number 10 on my list was The Substance. This is the latest film from Coralie Farge. I saw this at TIFF, and in preparation for this, a week before I saw this movie, I watched her other film, and I will tell you, Coralie is one of those directors that I am super excited to see what they do next. In the same light as Julia Ducournau, I think they are some of the most fearless directors we have working today, and I definitely am excited to see more. To me, more in this was incredible. Also, Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid, just playing these characters at 110%, truly shocking, visceral on the big screen with a crowded audience. That was the way to see The Substance, and I truly do think it's one of the best horror movies of the 2020s, and I'm definitely thinking we'll be talking about this decades to come. Now, at number 9 on my list, I have Odity, a film I was trying to watch at South by Southwest. Didn't get around to watching it. I want to watch this on the big screen so bad, but ended up watching this on the TV, and it still was a very spooky time. This is, I think, one of the movies that made me jump the most all year. Now, I need to take a little break because I'm doing like a wall sit, so it definitely is impacting the legs right now. But this film, Odity, directed by Damian McCarthy, is almost like an old school horror. Like, I really do think you could have made this movie in black and white, no sound, and it would still hit so hard. This is one of those movies that I truly enjoyed its story. It really does creep up on you, and it doesn't just rely on cheap jump scares because it really does linger the horror aspect of it. Really great film right here. At number 8 on my list, I have Late Night with the Devil, probably one of the earliest horror films I watched all year. I was waiting to see this movie since last year at South by Southwest where it had its premiere. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it then due to scheduling and things like that, so I waited, and a year later, right before I went to South by Southwest this year, I got a screener for this movie, and let me tell you, it truly was one of those movies that I was just like, this is life-changing right here. David Dastmalchian, I will always follow whatever you do in your career. I'm currently watching Twin Peaks: The Return, and I was so surprised to see David Dastmalchian in that, and still so great. 7 years ago that came out, and it's still such an amazing performance from David. He was also in The Boogeyman last year, which I thought was great. So this movie, really loved it. I love the appeal to it, the sort of shtick it has with the late night talk show hosting, and I think that it definitely is one of those movies that got a little bit too harshly received due to them using those images, which I know AI and all of that is another conversation, but in the end, this movie was honestly so great and a breath of fresh air. So really love this movie, and I put it at number 8. At number 7 on my list, I have Exuma, directed by Jang Jae-hyun, and this is a Korean horror film that I was just mind blown by. The way that this really is exhibiting a history and a true nature to it as well, like giving you this history lesson about what happened with Japan and Korea, but at the same time putting this like ghost story aspect to it. Really great. The parts with the spirits and possessions and things like that were horrifying to see. Truly one of those movies that I just would love to see be released on the big screen. I didn't watch this on the big screen. I watched it at home, but I think that this is one of those movies that really does deserve to be seen on the grandest stage. So I'm going to came at number 7. At number 6 on my list, I have Alien Romulus, the film from Fede Alvarez with Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson starring in this. And this is one of those movies as well. It got a pretty bad shtick due to the whole AI situation and sort of feeling like a greatest hits of the Alien franchise and things like that. And, you know, I can overlook all of that because I think what Fede Alvarez does in that final third act is truly some of the most refreshing things we've seen in the Alien franchise in years since Prometheus, and I am excited to see what he is going to do going forth. I think that he had to do those greatest hits aspects of it in order for the studio to feel confident in the movie, and it proved right in a way because it did gross a ton of money at the box office, and now I hope there's confidence for Fede Alvarez to do his own thing going forward. But I still really enjoyed a lot of these scenes here, and I'm excited to see what comes next. At number 5 on my list, I have Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Person. I can't say the full name, I feel, because YouTube is just funny with things like that. This is directed by Ariane Louis Cez, and this is one of my favorite films of the year. But this is one of those movies that I just really genuinely loved, and I don't know if it's the fact that I'm watching What We Do in the Shadows, and it kind of felt like a What We Do in the Shadows-esque spin-off, a bit more deeper and a bit more, I would say, serious, but it still felt like that humor at times throughout. This is a vampire story, and it basically is a vampire that's not able to really go out and drink blood because they don't want to kill, and a guy who just doesn't want to live life anymore. They clash together, and it is a beautiful story, honestly. This one had me in tears. We made it to the top 4, and at number 4 we have Longlegs, directed by Osgood Perkins, starring Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage. One of those movies that just changed the channel forever, right? This was one of those that we were just following the ARG, going through every single week, the website and things like that. I had a ton of fun with it. I don't know if that influenced how much I love the movie and how much I truly enjoyed it, because maybe if you didn't follow the ARG like I did, maybe you didn't like it as much. Totally valid. I think that there is always a great way to talk about art where we don't have to really invalidate it, and different like backgrounds in our lives and things like that can really mold how we see a movie. But I really love Longlegs. I thought it was so sinister, the way it was shot as well, very contained, very claustrophobic. One of my favorite movies of the year for sure. Number 3 on my list is Dead Talent Society, directed by John Schuh. This is a movie I was going to watch at TIFF. Didn't get to watch it there, but luckily they were playing it at Fantastic Fest, and I was so in love with this movie. Truly one of those that I had no clue was going to hit me such an emotional way. This is a movie that basically deals with spirits trying to become urban legends, and the reason they want to do that is to not be forgotten. And you follow this like young spirit, and she's learning from older spirits, and that's all I'll say because I don't want to give too many spoilers. Truly a great horror film because the horror is there, but also the heart is right there front and center. The second film on my list is The First Omen, directed by Rakasha Stevenson, starring Nell Tiger Free. One of those movies that I had no, like I would say, like I had no reason to think this was going to be good, right? Because it's a prequel, it's a established IP. Is it just going to be the same old things they've done before and nothing new? But totally surprised by this one, honestly. And for the longest, it was my number 1 movie throughout the year until like a week ago or 2, because it was just that good for me. I really do think that this is such a great performance from Nell, and I'm excited to see what she's going to do next. But at number 1 on my list, I have Nosferatu, the latest film from Robert Eggers. I got a chance to watch this last week, and I have not stopped thinking about it. I'm ready to watch it again this week during Christmas. This is the perfect Christmas gift for everybody who loves horror, gothic tales, and all of that, because at its core, it is truly a tragic horror story. That's what I want from horror. Tragedy, horrific imagery, and all of that, and poetic likeness to it. Poetic likeness, is that even a word? But I really do think Nosferatu is the best horror movie of the year because it serves all of that. Amazing performance, chilling, beautiful imagery, a haunting score, and Bill Skarsgård is as terrifying as you've ever seen him. Truly, Count Orlok really creeped me out so much. Even his voice, thinking about it, it was just so disgusting and horrific. One of those performances I will not stop thinking about. Those are my top 10 with an honorable mention of Terrifier in there, and let me know what yours is in the comments below. Follow me for more here on YouTube, on Letterboxd, or wherever you can find us. I know with TikTok seemingly going away, some of you might not be following me there. Just follow me on Instagram. We'll keep up the short content over there. But as always, I'll see all of you next time. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell. Let me know your favorite horror movie of 2024. Stay tuned for the best horror movies of 2024 video coming later this week. As always, happy holidays. Stay safe, stay positive.